Delivery shift. The empty house call. The rain was a relentless, hammering curtain against the windshield, blurring the already dim streetlights into halos of sickly yellow. Another late-night delivery, another faceless address in the sprawling suburbs. My stomach growled, a hollow echo in the cramped confines of my delivery van. But the tips were good, and rent wasn't going to pay itself. The GPS chirped, announcing my arrival. 14 Sycamore Lane, a single-story house, nestled at the end of a cul-de-sac, its windows glowing with a warm, inviting light. It should have been comforting, a beacon in the storm. Instead, a prickle of unease crawled up my spine. I pulled into the driveway, the gravel crunching beneath my tires. I grabbed the insulated bag from the passenger seat, the weight of the pizza a small comfort in my suddenly tense hands. I approached the porch, the rain plastering my hair to my forehead. The porch light, a dim, amber glow, cast long, distorted shadows that danced with the swaying branches of the sycamore tree. I pressed the doorbell. Nothing. I waited, the silence broken only by the drumming rain and the frantic thumping of my own heart. I pressed the doorbell again, harder this time. Still nothing. I checked the delivery instructions on my phone. Leave at door if no answer. Simple enough. Except, the door wasn't locked. A wave of hesitation washed over me. It felt wrong. Intrusive, like stepping into a scene that wasn't meant to be seen. But the customer was expecting their food, and I had a job to do. I turned the doorknob, the click echoing in the unnerving silence. The door swung open, revealing a dimly lit living room. The air was thick with a strange, cloying sweetness, like overripe fruit. "Hello?" I called out, my voice a strained whisper. "Pizza delivery." Silence. Absolute, suffocating silence. I stepped inside, my footsteps muffled by the thick carpet. The living room was neat, almost unnervingly so. The furniture was arranged in perfect symmetry, the cushions plumped, the magazines stacked in neat piles. It felt like a stage set, a meticulously crafted facade. The lights were on, casting long, eerie shadows that stretched across the walls, but there was no one. "Hello?" I called out again, my voice trembling slightly. I moved through the living room, towards the hallway that led to the rest of the house. The cloying sweetness intensified, making my stomach churn. I checked each room, one by one. The kitchen, spotless, with gleaming appliances and empty countertops. The dining room, set for a meal, with plates and cutlery arranged in perfect order, but no food. The bedrooms, empty, the beds neatly made, the closets bare. It was as if the house had been abandoned in a hurry, or perhaps, prepared for something. A sense of dread washed over me, a cold, clammy feeling that gripped my heart and squeezed. I had to get out of here. I turned to leave, but something caught my eye. A small, antique music box, sitting on a shelf in the hallway. It was intricately carved, with a dark, almost sinister sheen. I hesitated, drawn to it by an unseen force. I reached out and opened the lid. A distorted melody filled the air, a discordant, unsettling tune that sent a shiver down my spine. It was a child's song, but warped, twisted, like a record played at the wrong speed. The music box seemed to vibrate in my hand, its melody growing louder, more insistent. I slammed the lid shut, the sudden silence a jarring contrast to the discordant tune. I stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest. I had to get out of this house, out of this suffocating silence. I turned and ran, my footsteps echoing in the empty hallway. I reached the front door, my hand trembling as I turned the doorknob. But the door wouldn't open. I tried again, harder this time, but the door was locked. Panic seized me, a cold, suffocating wave. I was trapped. The music box started playing again, its distorted melody echoing through the house. I turned, my eyes wide with terror. A figure stood in the shadows at the end of the hallway, its form indistinct in the dim light. It was tall and gaunt, its face obscured by the darkness. It began to move towards me, its footsteps silent on the carpet. The music box melody grew louder, more frantic, as if it was being cranked by unseen hands. I screamed, a raw, primal sound that tore through the silence of the house. The figure stopped, its head tilting slightly, as if listening. Then, a voice, a low, guttural whisper, echoed from the darkness. "The delivery is here," it whispered, its voice a chilling echo of my own. The figure stepped into a sliver of light, revealing its face. It was a distorted reflection of myself, a grotesque caricature, with eyes that burned with malevolent intent. It raised its hand, revealing the pizza bag I had left on the floor. It opened the bag, and the cloying sweetness intensified, making my stomach churn. Inside the bag, instead of a pizza, was a single, withered sycamore leaf. The figure smiled, a chilling, predatory grin. "Thank you for your service," it whispered. The lights flickered, plunging the house into darkness. The music box melody stopped, replaced by an eerie silence. I stumbled back, my heart pounding in my chest. I was trapped in a nightmare from which I could not escape. Then, a single light flickered on, above the open front door. I ran, throwing the door open, not caring if it was locked or not. I ran into the rain, not stopping until I was back in the van, and driving away. Looking back, the house was dark, the warm lights gone, just a dark shape in the rain. I never delivered to that address again, and I never opened another music box. I still hear the melody, sometimes, in the quiet moments, and I still see the figure, in the shadows, waiting for its next delivery.